Ladies and gentlemen, it is your host with the most penis, White Boy 7th Street, with another fantastic episode of High School Stories. I know my goats really enjoy this series, one of my favorite fan favorites out there, and the problem is I only have so many stories, but once in a blue moon, something will trigger a memory to an old school story. And that's what we have today. So hopefully you guys enjoy the high school stories. And it is Minecraft Mondays, the start of a very beautiful, prosperous week for all you guys watching out there. So I should mention this really quickly. We are playing on my Minecraft server, bapcraft.com, the exclusive game type Battle Royale, which you can't find anywhere else. But there is 35% off everything at store.bapcraft.com, limited till Tuesday night. And everything will be transferred over after the new Minecraft rules. So you got to be grandfathered in. You got to get all your benefits. So take advantage of it while you can. Summer is the code that will get you 35% off. So anyways, let's get to the story. So this was triggered while me and Kelly were doing a late night bike ride, enjoying the summer night. And we have a community pool. Like I pay, I think it's like $500 a month for the community house homeowners fee or something like that. And one of the benefits for that is we get access to a pool and a gym and stuff like that. So we were taking a bike ride and we're going past this pool, and I was like, Kelly, you want to hop the fence? I used to do this all the time as a kid across the street, and because there was a pool across the street from my house. You want to hop the fence? It's actually really cool, like swimming at night. It's like your own private pool. It's like a hot summer night. You jump into the cold pool. It's actually really cool to do. I don't recommend to all you youngins out there, don't be hopping fences and telling the police that I told you to do this. But hypothetically, it is actually really fun. And we used to do it all the time on 7th Street. So I wanted to tell a few summer stories. Like, summer's a big deal. Not for everybody, but when you live north of the wall, when you live where winter is rough, you really appreciate the summertime. And our first story of the evening is going to be me and Buddy 7th Street are walking around the pool, and a few of our friends are already in the pool, and like 30 kids, from literally 30 freaking kids. It looked like it was open, like they had some sort of late night event. There were so many kids that I have never seen before in the pool. So me and Buddy are walking around to this part of the fence where one of our friends cut like the fence open, like with one of those industrial bolt cutters, like Grand Theft Auto, I'm about to do a heist type of bolt cutters. So there's this hole in the fence where you can peel it back and easily get in. So we were walking around there, and before, like, I was lifting up the fence for Buddy to go in like a gentleman, and out the corner of my eye, I see lights in the park, right, on the sidewalk. So I thought like two people were flashlights. I look over, and it's a cop car. It's a freaking cop car. And I like, whoa, I pull Buddy back, and I'm like, get out the pool. Like, I'm like, you hooligans, get out the pool. Because I thought the cops were coming. The cops are closest to us because we're outside the fence, and the kids were in the fence. So I'm between the kids and the cops, pretty much. So I'm like, get out the pool, you hooligans. I'm calling the police. Blah, blah, blah. And then me and Buddy start walking away. And as soon as I turn the corner, we start freaking sprinting. I mean, I leave Buddy behind. I'm at gold medal cheetah speed. I'm running like my freedom depends on it. So we get to the other side of the pool. Now I'm on, the cops are on one side. The kids in the pool are between me and the cops now. So I'm on the other side of the fence, and it was like a stampede. I never seen so much wild hoodlums run and hop the fence. It would have been it should have been an athletic Olympic event to see all these kids hop the fence with incredible athleticism. They were over the fence so fast, and so a lot of them got out, but a few of them got caught. I want to say about 7 of them got caught. And you could see all these kids just running just through the neighborhoods, like bare feet, no freaking shirt on, and we have a lot of questionable things on the ground on 7th Street, right? 7th Street is not the most paved street in the land. Actually, if you go to 7th Street right now, you can see like bricks that were laid in like the 1800s or something, like the old school road. Like there's actually bricks on some parts of 7th Street that like make up the road, and there's little rocks. Who knows what's thrown in the alleys, because all these kids like hopped the fence, ran out the park, and were like in the backyards and in the alleys of our neighborhood, and like there's so much garbage juice and all types. Who knows what were on their feet. So 7 of them got caught. I end up going back to the 7th Street porch and just seeing, like, you could see a paddy wagon. A paddy wagon is like a police van, and so the paddy wagon is like interviewing like 7 of these people. There's a few in the back, and we just see all these kids like 15 minutes later come out the woodwork, and one by one they turned themselves in to the paddy wagon, and they had to call for backup, and there were 2 vans, and I have no idea, but there was like 30 people before. At least 20 of them got turned in. It was really weird, and we were just like like, why would these kids turn themselves in? And we were making jokes like they were trying to get free baseball cards, because the Milwaukee police force would like give kids baseball cards if you asked for them. Maybe they really wanted baseball cards, or they missed their friends, or they wanted an adventure. I'm not exactly sure. But another story about this same pool. Late at night, one of the days that we go hopping the fence to go swim, one of our older friends breaks in to the concession stand, and he has a summer supply of Snoopy popsicles. I remember it was Snoopy from Charlie Brown. One of the where the gum, like a gumball is the eyeball, a black and white popsicle. We had the entire summer of Snoopy popsicles, and it was a great time. Unlimited supply. There was like cold nacho cheese. He took like a big bag of cold nacho cheese. I think there was a little bit of money in there as well. So I actually think that our older friend who did that was flirting with the girl that was working the concession stand during the day. And that was kind of, I don't know, I felt like it was kind of weird. Even though that girl was just working there, he like, maybe he got some inside intel. Maybe he just wanted to be this girl's boyfriend or whatever it was for the time being, to gather intel for the Snoopy popsicle heist. I'm not exactly sure, but I do know that I did not get sick of those Snoopy popsicles. I ate a bunch of them that summer. Another thing that we like to do in the summer, on 6th and Lincoln, there's this fountain, and the church owns this. It's not a great fountain. It's just like, it's a freaking fountain. I think there's never any pennies in there. It's not one of those one of those fountains, because people would take the pennies. Like if you threw any kind of money in there, it's got to be taken. Like that's just. We actually did that one time at Southridge Mall. We needed some money for something stupid, like one of those like claw machines, and like, shit, there's quarters right there. Let's just do it. Or I think it was the arcade. We needed things for the quarters for the arcade, and we had no money, so we were like, well, my forearm was like super freaking wet, but we had a few quarters. This was back in my hooligan days, by the way. I'm a changed man. I've thrown my fair share of quarters back in the fountain. I felt like it was kind of like a piggy bank, so I was just getting my money back. Anyways, so on this fountain, we learned this little trick, and this is just for educational purposes, but I would do my walks to Target, and me, Julio, 7. I gotta tell this, because every time I talk to Julio, he wants me to tell this story. So I'll give Julio his proper time in the spotlight in a little bit. But me, Julio, and Buddy 7th Street would walk to Target. If you guys remember my famous Target vlogs that everyone loves. So we would walk to Target, and we would get dish soap. Like, we would all chip in like 80 cents and get the big freaking dish detergent soap. And if you pour dish soap into a fountain that like reuses the same water, a lot of bubble, like an insane amount of bubbles will be produced by that fountain. So we would just put a whole bunch of bubbles in the fountain and just watch it explode. One time I did get caught. Like, I don't know, we would go back and just look at it, like return to the scene of the crime, and it was like a winter wonderland. How many bubbles would it was like 5 freaking feet of bubbles. So we would go back and put more bubbles, and I eventually got caught, and they were like, "Do you know this is the church property?" And then I was going to hell or something, but they let us go because it was just a little minor thing. So, all right, the story with Julio. Me and Julio were best friends. Julio's the one who shot me in the eye with the BB gun. So we were around the pond fishing, and these 2 twins started talking. Like, there was 2 little twins. They started talking reckless, right? And I didn't want any, like, I think Julio was instigating it or something. I don't remember exactly, but I do remember Julio punching one of them, knocking him down, grabbing the other, like, twin by his hair, and, like, giving him a face, like a face wash in the dirty, like, 7th Street pond. Now that pond is so freaking dirty. There's unspeakable things. There was like phone. I caught this same phone booth like 10 times. There was this like a little phone booth that somebody broke, took the change, chucked it in the pond, and I caught it like 4 times in that pond. And there's so many gross. If you look up on White Boy 7th Street 2 how to catch a fish with your bare hands or something, you can just tell that there's so many disgusting things. Speaking about things in the pond, another one of our older 7th Street friends during the hot days of 7th Street, during the hot summer months, there was a stolen car, and to get rid of it, they put a brick on the gas pedal, and the car like went straight, and it was like a little junky like 2-door, Honda or whatever. Brick on the gas pedal, and they put the car in the freaking pond, and it didn't go far whatsoever, but there was a car in the pond for a little bit. And what was really kind of crazy about that is there was like a bag in the back of the trunk, and with the water it looked like a body for some reason. So the police came, and they had to like get a fire truck to get it out, and it was like a big deal. I think it made the news or something, and they interviewed me. I was like, I just saw this car going in, and then I fucked her right in the pussy. That didn't happen, but it was on the news. And yeah, there were some crazy times during the summer months. The summer months, like a nice summer night, a clear summer night, you get like an extra 3 hours of your day. You get out, and everybody's out. It's just a great time in the hood. And there's some more crazy stories where like one of our older friends were drunk. So why I say older friends, because it was me, Julio, and Buddy, and their sister Laura were kind of in like this, like the little group. Like there was like the older 7th Street brothers, and then there was like the younger brothers, and I was part, like I could have went either way, but I went with the younger folk. And so we were on the top porch, they were on the bottom porch. We're just like doing whatever, hanging out, pretty much just listening to what they're saying. I don't know if they knew we were ever out on the top porch, but we were just like listening, seeing what was going on and stuff. And they were drinking Hennessy, I remember, because the bottle Hennessy, Kanye. If you guys don't know what Hennessy is like what Kanye drank when he went up on stage, and Beyonce had the greatest music video of all time. She had the GOAT video. So what happened? He was drinking Hennessy, and like cars were coming past, and they would like stop the cars, like talk to them. Like he was spitting on cars, talking shit, just getting reckless. I don't know what it is about Hennessy, but it's like one of those, dark liquors that get you kind of turned up. And I think he threw a bottle at one of these vans, and then the van stopped and wanted some problems. obviously, because they got spat on and a bottle was thrown at the van or whatever. And, you know, one of our older friends is kind of buff, right? He was probably one of the buffest ones out of the group. And he was just like so, you know, Hulk rage of Hennessy for some reason. I'm not sure exactly why, but there was a little physical confrontation. They left in the van. They come back like 30 minutes later in the van with like 10 people deep. And on 7th Street, we like on the like there was always a lot of people on 7th Street, like at least 12, you know, grown, not including us, but like 12 like really grown people, because there was 7th Street, there's people like next door, and then, you know, people 3 houses down. So we had a big group at all times. So they came back, wanted a little fight, a little confrontation. I think a gun was, or a few were shot. They started like running up on there was a few guns being shot, and eventually I think that van, they were fighting by the van. The guy who was drunk actually got beat up a little bit, and then they came to the rescue, and then they beat the guys in the van up, took the van, crashed it into the 6th Street, one of these 6th Street garage, like this brick garage. They crashed it into the brick garage, and then there's this huge hole in the garage for like a year that never got fixed. And I'm not sure exactly what happened, because I was on the porch, on the top porch, so I wasn't really, I didn't know what was happening, but I did. Last time I went to 7th Street, I actually got I got this story retold to me. I need to go to 7th Street more, so I get more stories from the crazy days. Everything is cooled down now on 7th Street, but there definitely was some crazy moments. Another kind of big brawl, which this actually reminds me of 2 stories. We went to Chuck E. Cheese, because there was a Chuck E. Cheese about, I don't know, 6 blocks away. It was on the way from the walk to Target. So there's this Chuck E. Cheese. Some drama started there. I don't know. I think it was a gang drama. It got brought back to 7th Street. Across the street from the house, in the park, there was a brawl of unmatched proportion. It was like a Royal Rumble. It was like a 20 on 20. And the same guy who took those Snoopy popsicles, he had like a pound of weed in his backpack. And my mom didn't want me to have any part of this brawl, so she took me inside right away. Luckily, I had a front row view, because I just opened the window, and I had one of those big like 6 foot by 6 foot windows, and I was just staring. I had a clear view of it, and there was like a huge fight. But my mom, I don't think she knew, but she took the pound of weed from that guy and put it in our backyard. And after the fight left, I remember this guy Andy was kicking. One of the things I remember about the fight, they started to leave, but as they were getting in their car, Andy like kicked in one of their windows, and I never seen a window getting kicked in. So he had to kick it like 3 times, but the third one I think he smashed it. And as they were driving away, so that was kind of cool. But so my mom took this pound of weed. And I don't think she knew there was a weed until... Actually, I think she did. That's why she put it in the backyard. Because she didn't want to be hot or anything like that. Like, have a pound of weed's fucking... That's dangerous. That's a big amount. So then that guy ends up breaking into my house when I slept over his house, stealing my freaking PlayStation and, like, some jewelry to, like, get back at my mom. And I think we finally like exchanged the things back, and it was cool and stuff. My mom was a little crazy at sometimes, but another little summer story that I can think of, and I know these aren't the most detailed stories, but I'm just trying to think of the crazy days, because I was never really involved in these stories. I was kind of watching, but I do remember there was another confrontation. I don't remember who, but I think this guy's name was Josh. He came back from the army or something like 2 years ago. I just remember he was in the army for some time, and he had some nice jewelry on, and he was about to fight. I think it was somebody driving by, and they did something stupid or were driving stupid. So there was a confrontation, and he put his watch, his chain, and like his ring on top of this car, and he was like, "Get out the fucking car right now! Get out the car!" Blah blah blah. And I'm ready to fight. So he takes off all his stuff, and then he's like trying to open the door, and he's trying to force the door open, like banging on the window. These people take off, but this guy holds onto the trunk and like the left or the driver wheel. So not the wheel itself, but like, you know how it like it curves over the wheel, like there's whatever it is. He was holding on to that part, and he like Superman down the block for at least I don't know, 100 feet. He was holding on to this car, and he had a white shirt because those were the days everybody wore it. Yup, in my white tee. Like, white t-shirts were a big deal. So he had his white tee, and I remember him having like a huge like tire mark or skid mark, or maybe it was just the road that did it to him. But his white tee was no longer white, and he held on for a while, and he lost all of his jewelry, and that was pretty expensive jewelry. So like he gave us all $20 to try to look, or the little kids 20, and I was part of the little kids. Gave us all $20 to try to look for his chains and stuff, but I never found it. I don't know. I think one of my 7th Street friends found it, but they took the money and the chain and said they never found it, and yeah. So summer stories now from 7th Street. I went outside. I was fishing, and these little kids said no fishing, and that was like, that's on White Boy 7th Street too. That was my most recent vlog if you want to check it. It's raining outside right now. That's another story. It's raining right now. As I'm trying to demonstrate, it's a lot less drama, a lot more calm over here, and as I got older. But nevertheless, it was crazy growing up on 7th Street, especially during the summer months where things started to get nuts. Oh, another quick thing, firework battles. So I was up north usually during the 4th of July, but this is like a third person story. Like, this is me telling a story of my 7th Street friends that I hung out with all the time. So they would get like a bunch of Roman candles, a bunch of big fireworks, whatever, and they had like a firework war where they were one side of the street were one team, on the other side was another team, and they would just get like Roman candles and go back and forth shooting Roman candles across the street, those big ones that go into the air, boom, cherry bombs, all types of things. They were having wars back and forth, and of course the cops came, and as the cops were like driving away, or like sometime during this, I wasn't there and I don't remember exactly, but I remember them saying like Roman candles were shot at the cops, at the cop car, excuse me, and then they just kind of drove away. Oh no, I was gonna have another story about leaves, but leaves is more in the fall time. That's a fall time story. I remember some hooligan stuff that we got involved with, some leaves, but that's for when fall. This is summertime stories. I got that summertime sadness. I got that Subway sandwich. Oh, whoa, hoo, hoo, hoo. So yeah, guys, if you play Minecraft, be sure to join our server, bapcraft.com, if you're interested by the Battle Royale game type. Like I said, you can find that only on Bapcraft exclusively, and we got 35% off with code SUMMER at store.bapcraft.com. And with that new Minecraft UCLA, whatever the new Minecraft regulations are going to be, everything will be grandfathered in, so you will get all your benefits if you want. Bapcraft is free, but if you want a little bit extra, you're going to get all your benefits no matter what, and that's the least we can do for the people who support the server. So take advantage of it. Like I said before, Tuesday night, 35% off. After that, the coupon code is invalid. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the high school stories, and I will see you guys later. Bye.